An Iranian ballistic missile has struck Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. That is the largest military installation for the United States in the entire Middle East.
Welcome to Partisan Pulse, where we break down the biggest political moments and expose what the headlines leave out. That's the explosive report we're starting with today. A direct hit, a ballistic missile, on Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. This isn't just any target. It's the largest U.S. military installation in the entire Middle East. This isn't theoretical. This is a clear, undeniable attack on American assets and personnel. For those who claim Iran is deterred or that our defenses are impenetrable, this footage tells a very different story. We're seeing a dangerous escalation, and the implications for regional stability and American credibility are far more severe than many in Washington want to admit. Let's dive into the details they don't want you to focus on.
But for it to get through, that's a legitimate concern.
And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says all personnel are accounted for after a drone strike in a parking lot near the U.S. consulate in Dubai late last night.
Wait, what? A legitimate concern is an understatement. This isn't some hidden, uncharted outpost. Al Udeid is a known, massive U.S. military installation, supposedly fortified with advanced air defense systems, both American and Qatari. For an Iranian ballistic missile to successfully strike it means one of two things. Either our multi-billion-dollar defense systems failed, or they weren't fully operational. Neither scenario is acceptable, especially when lives are on the line. This isn't just about a single strike. It shatters the narrative that our regional deterrence is robust. We are constantly assured that our presence in the Middle East is secure, that our allies are protected, and that our adversaries are kept in check. But when a ballistic missile gets through to the largest military installation in the entire Middle East, it exposes a dangerous gap between rhetoric and reality. The fact that an expert has to call this a legitimate concern highlights a systemic issue. It's not just a technical glitch, it's a strategic vulnerability. This is on the record. Iran is demonstrating a capability that directly challenges U.S. military dominance in a critical region, and the repercussions for our troops and our standing are immense.
One of the interceptions created debris which then hit a residential building and killed an 11-year-old girl. So these incoming missiles and drones are continuing.
Let that sink in. An 11-year-old girl, a civilian, killed not by an incoming Iranian missile, but by the debris from its interception. This isn't just a tragic accident. It's a stark, horrifying reminder of the real human cost of this escalating conflict. We talk about successful interceptions and air defense systems in abstract terms, but this is what it looks like on the ground. Shattered lives, innocent victims, and a brutal demonstration that even our defensive measures carry a deadly price for those caught in the crossfire. This is measurable, an 11-year-old girl. That's not just a statistic, that's a family destroyed, a future extinguished because the conflict in the skies above spilled over into a residential neighborhood. It forces us to ask tough questions. Are these successful defenses truly successful if they lead to such devastation for civilians? What are the protocols for intercepting overpopulated areas? And who is accountable for this tragic outcome? If this kind of breakdown matters to you, this is exactly what we do here at Partisan Pulse. We pull back the curtain on the real consequences of political and military decisions, especially when the official narrative tries to gloss over the painful truths. This isn't just about geopolitics, it's about the lives impacted by it.
We are seeing having a very high success rate of managing to shoot down these missiles and drones. We heard a couple of interceptions overhead a couple of hours ago.
That's not how that works. We just heard about Al Udeid being hit. We just heard about an 11-year-old girl killed by debris from an interception. How can anyone with a straight face claim a very high success rate when we have concrete evidence of strikes getting through and even our defenses causing civilian casualties? This is the kind of selective reporting that distorts the reality on the ground and lulls the public into a false sense of security. The definition of success here seems to be incredibly elastic. If a few missiles get through and cause significant damage, or if the act of defending itself causes civilian deaths, that is not very high success. That's a dangerous gamble with high stakes. This is a critical distinction because it directly impacts our assessment of the threat and the effectiveness of our current strategy. The official line wants you to believe everything is under control, that our technology is infallible. But the reality, as documented by the very same reports, is far more complex and far more precarious. We need to demand transparency about what constitutes success when the stakes involve American lives, allied security, and innocent civilians.
But this morning, 2 cruise missiles indicating an escalation of the type of attack by Iran on Saudi Arabia were shot down successfully. No injuries reported as far as we know, in a town just south of Riyadh. And right next to that town is a massive Saudi military airbase.
An escalation in the type of attack. This is a critical detail that can't be ignored. It's not just the volume of attacks, but the sophistication and lethality of the weapons Iran is deploying. Cruise missiles are a significant step up from drones and even some ballistic missiles in terms of their capabilities and the threat they pose. While these were shot down successfully, the fact that Iran is even attempting such strikes against Saudi Arabia fundamentally shifts the risk landscape. This isn't just about Saudi Arabia's defense. It's about regional stability and the credibility of the institutions meant to maintain it. When Iran feels emboldened to use cruise missiles, it signals a dangerous confidence in its capabilities and a clear intent to escalate. The question isn't just if we can shoot them down, but how long we can sustain this defensive posture against increasingly sophisticated threats without further destabilization. The continuous need for interceptions, especially of advanced weaponry, puts immense strain on our allies' resources and raises the risk of a wider conflict. This is a direct challenge to the established order, and the slow, steady erosion of perceived security is a dangerous path.
To send 4 drones successfully hitting the embassy here in the center of Riyadh, the US embassy, and not just the embassy building itself, but hitting the CIA station there. Fire damage, the extent of which we don't quite know yet.
This is not just a symbolic attack. Hitting the US embassy in Riyadh is a direct affront, but striking the CIA station within that complex is an attack on the heart of American intelligence operations in the region. This isn't about property damage. It's about compromised security, potential intelligence losses, and a clear message from Iran. They can reach and damage our most sensitive assets. The fire damage, the extent of which we don't quite know yet, is a chilling phrase. It suggests ongoing assessments of the damage, not just to the physical structure, but to the intelligence operations housed within. This is documented, it's on the record, and it represents a profound breach of security and a direct threat to American personnel and national interests. This incident elevates the stakes dramatically. It moves beyond military bases and into the realm of diplomatic and intelligence infrastructure, signaling Iran's willingness to directly challenge American presence at every level. The question now isn't just about defense, but about response and how the U.S. intends to reestablish deterrence and protect its most critical assets abroad when they are clearly vulnerable. The evidence is clear. Iran is escalating, and the current strategy is not containing them. From ballistic missile strikes on our largest bases to civilian casualties from defensive debris, and now direct hits on our intelligence facilities, the situation is precarious. If everything is winning, the numbers should confirm it. But what we're seeing is a dangerous erosion of security and credibility. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and make sure you're subscribed to Partisan Pulse for the truth behind the headlines.